Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's an all-you-can-geek Gamecast. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinsod,
Ahoy!
and Tony
Yo,
Korkanakis.
yo, yo, yo.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners
Ooh,
and
extra
viewers.
yo.
We are live. We are live on Twitch. Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Please join us. We just finished the movie cast. So we are doing our most anticipated. So we did that on movie cast. We're going to finish this episode out with those in this, so stay tuned. If you're watching this on YouTube, also love to hear from you guys. Leave us a comment, subscribe. That way you get notified when we go live. But yeah, guys, this is going to be our most anticipated, but we have some news, what we've been playing. Kick us off, Corey. What have you been playing?
Oh, the moving game, essentially. So
Yeah,
I have nothing like
that's
hooked
right.
up really. I just
No
got
portable,
sorted
nothing.
out. I'm
No,
in a
no Balatro, even.
no, I just you know I don't like that game. So uh yeah, I'm just been moving, so really didn't get a chance. Just anytime I had a chance to do anything that's not that, it's just been
Yeah.
mine, no mean least nothing.
Hmm. Well, you're like just tapped out at that point. So I get
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
All right, Tony.
Past week has just been my live service games. Just mix of Final Fantasy, Fortnite, Rocket League. I got back into that because of Fortnite shit. Um,
Mm.
I really want to get back to Metaphor, but honestly, like I took a 2 week break for Magfest,
That's what
and it's
happens,
really
man.
hard for me to get back into it. Where
Same for me.
I'm just
This is
like,
what happened to me right now.
I just don't. I'm just not
I took a
feeling
week
it.
off. Even a week off, and I'm just like the other day. I played. The other day I ended up playing it, but I'm like I had to remember it's the diving back in of the combat cadence and everything like that. Just remembering because it took a week off, and it's like I was really hesitant. I wanted to get into Marvel Rivals because I haven't really
Oh,
played that
Marvel
yet.
Rivals,
And
that too. Forgot that.
yeah, so the problem I have with Marvel Rivals is like I'm kind of because I'm like, how bad am I going to be at this game compared to everybody else? That's a concern because I'm used to jumping into these games like Overwatch. I jumped in right away, and I'm never going to be the best player, but I feel like I have to start early to kind of compete at all. And I'm like, how bad is it to start now? You know what I'm saying? That
Just
was
be
my question.
Wanda. Just be Wanda. Just be
Because
Scarlet
like,
Witch. The early levels, you'll win. It's fine.
yeah, I loaded it up and I played some of the tutorial stuff just to kind of learn, or should I just jump in? What's your suggestion, guys?
Doesn't matter. Just jump in.
Play.
Just
Play.
fucking
You can do
jump into the
either.
deep end.
I spent
Yep.
like a half hour or so looking at like all the flight controls for different characters and
Yeah,
stuff, and it felt overwhelming because every character
yeah.
has like 3 or 4 abilities. You just kind of have to learn it as you go. Um, but yeah,
You don't have to play ranked or anything if you don't want.
No,
Just
I'd be
play
playing quick
regular.
match. I started playing
yeah.
tutorial and was like, so I went back and I actually forced myself to play Metaphor is what happened. But because I'm like, I don't want to forget about the game. So, but I have been playing that. But Tony, anything else? No, just Marvel Rivals with that. Okay. All
Mm.
right, Mike, what about you?
Well, obviously more Marvel Rivals.
You're like
I
game of
went.
the year
I've got to. Well, last year's,
this
but
year too.
yeah, maybe this year too.
Yeah.
Ongoing
No,
game of the year.
yeah, no. I got
Probably
up to
will be.
platinum
Yeah.
two, then dropped back down to gold three, and now I'm back in platinum three. So
Hmm.
it's always a
Nice.
journey. Yeah, and like I said, I'm doing pretty decently with Invisible Woman lately. I like her because she's also sort of a flex character where she is a strategist, a healer, but she doesn't have the biggest healing output, but she is also real good at getting kills as well. She's very sneaky, obviously, and has that little floating ball thing that always gets people. So she's fun to play as, and you can push people. You can like push people off the map, or you throw your ball, and then you can pull them towards you. So they try to get away, and they go back into the ball like that. Um, Otherwise, I've also played. I don't know if I'm going to keep up with it. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
So
It's oddly
Hmm.
odd to
give
say
me
out
that
loud.
feedback. As an Elden Lord, how bad am I going to be at that game?
Well, it's totally different type of hard game.
Yeah, yeah, different kind of game.
I actually played this on the 360, well, the old version, for a little bit and stopped at a boss and just like I don't care enough to continue going. I remember that this is one of those games I got permanently lent by a friend. um, and I played it for a little bit and gave up. I'm farther than I was then. I'm in the New York area, if anyone knows how the game goes. But
How's it
there's
look?
not. It looks mostly fine. Sometimes it looks
Yeah.
like an older game, but it looks pretty good now. Yeah, but it's very fast. You want to just do stuff fast and dodge and block and jump. Although I keep getting sort of torn between trying to jump and doing the proper dodge, and then I just get hit. But a few bosses gave me some
Okay.
trouble, but I figure if I wanted to, I could power through. I'm just not super invested in it. We'll see if I continue with it or not. But
Wait,
it's
Yeah.
fun
you started
so
with Ninja
far.
Gaiden 2?
Yes, I never played the first one.
I would recommend the first one is legitimately probably the best one because I bought 2 on 360 when it came out, and don't get me wrong, it's still a good game, but like it was one of those things where it's like they kind of introduced too much stuff where it's like, oh well, the first game kind of was like the
Hmm.
peak.
Hmm.
And I've even talked about that recently, and I'll talk about it in a moment here, but that was before Soulsborne's games were a thing. That was like the hard series, like the
Hmm.
hard action series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just I still have trouble, and I have trouble with this in the Soulsborne, well, at least in Elden Ring too, where when the characters aren't humanoid, I really can't read what they're doing. Like when they're just giant monster things, I'm like, I don't know what is an attack or what they're doing. Like I can't read them, so I get a little annoyed by that. But you know, eventually I just slow it down and figure it out. So far, but yeah, it's all right. I don't know if I'll stick with it. We'll see.
All right. Okay, guys, let's get some news here. Kick it off. Let's kick it off with multiverses. Multiverses, the I guess Smash Brothers clone esque from Warner Brothers
Smash
was
like, yeah.
yeah, Smash like um is being shut down, unfortunately. But it's basically was already shut down. Remember, it came out and
Yeah.
then they decided they were going to shut the game down last year to actually finish it and make it launch. And now it's
Hmm.
actually being shut down. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like that killed their hype when they did that, right?
It didn't help. Because I played a little during that like pre-launch period, and then when you realize like all the progression was like kind of gated and slow and shitty, then you're like, ugh, whatever. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll bring it back, better, new. But it was so far later. Like when that came out in that pre-launch window, it was a big deal. Everyone was playing it. It was a free-to-play Smash-like basically, which with DC characters. But yeah, it lost all its hype, and I haven't played it since it's been properly out. So, and I'm sure lots of people are in the same boat. I mean, it was fine for what it was as the gameplay wise. It was a slightly unique take, very focused on two like teams.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, it's a shame, but
yeah, it is.
whatever. Another miss for DC and Warner Brothers.
So to talk about more Mrs. Electronic Arts, let's talk about Bioware or lack thereof.
Are we done?
Bioware is now down to less than, huh?
Oh, I didn't know we were done talking about it because only Mike talked
Oh,
about
I
it.
thought we were. I'm sorry.
Why would
Did
you?
I apologize.
Mike finished
I
his sentence. You're like
apologize.
moving on. No, it's kind of a shame because like Mike was saying, that game was making big numbers on Twitch during that whatever alpha beta
That's what
whatever
I thought.
they talked
Yeah, it was
about
like
it.
2 summers ago or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they had a good idea where they make it a live service game, right? Because uh, you could perpetually update it, right? And new
Yeah.
characters is usually when you gain, players coming back or new players, right? Because it's like, oh, I'm a fan of whatever, and they finally put, blah 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 in this game, so I'll play this game now, right? But I just feel it was executive meddling once again with Warner Brothers, where their greed got to them. Because I don't even think they were supposed to take the game down completely. I really think it was like they just announced it. Everybody's like, wait, what? Like,
It
that's not what we
was
signed up
a
for
shock. I remember talking about it in the
because
podcast. It
people
was
paid a lot of
absolutely a
money
shock.
for that early access,
Yeah.
like the founders pack or whatever the hell they called
Yeah.
it. And the thing was, I
Hmm.
think the monetization was really bad in terms of what you needed to get new to buy new characters. Um,
Yeah.
where
Progression was bad.
again, you
Yeah.
look at something like Concord and you look at something like Marvel Rivals. If you want to have a live service game, like you need to either budget it accordingly, like a low price title, like $30, $40, Helldivers 2, and hope you get the mass audience, or you need to make it free to play and monetize like skins and stuff like that, battle passes or something. You can't charge full price for a game and charge for you know costumes,
Hero packs.
cosmetics, stuff
Yeah.
like that, unless you're Smash Brothers. Like if you're number one, you can get away with that because
Right.
you have
I
that.
mean,
When you're not
well,
number one,
I mean, this game was free to play.
It was free.
Was
Yeah,
it?
but they charged for
No, sorry,
each
but the
hero, right?
character, like the characters,
The characters were not.
The characters, I think that was part. They had a thing where there was a rotation where you could try
Yeah.
There
for
was
free
a
for a while. I
progression
don't know.
part you can get them,
I
but
don't
you had to
know
do a
if
lot.
I don't know if they changed it by the time it was properly out though. But
I just
Yeah.
remember
I don't know.
people doing the math or something and saying you needed to grind for X amount of months to unlock one character that you wanted, if you didn't want to pay
Yeah,
for it.
if you didn't want to pay, yeah,
Right. Which, you know, I
or
think
just
they should-
wait for their turn to come up.
Sure, and then
Yeah.
but then you have less people playing every day, which is bad
Right.
if you're
Right.
trying to do concurrent users, which multiplayer games live or die, right? By that kind of metric. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that's
all I
it's
wanna
tough.
say.
Like, what's the progression
No,
on
yeah, it
that?
makes
Like,
sense.
that's the other thing. How do you got to
Yeah.
figure out how that's gonna work? And if you're just gonna clone Smash, then and
like I don't
you're
even care
not
they
number
cloned
one,
it
like you
because
said, Tony.
like,
It's like
No,
yeah,
that part
you
wasn't
can't.
even the bad part.
no, that
Really.
wasn't even the bad part because they had
No,
they had a
I
lot of
didn't
good
say that.
characters, but
I'm not upset about the character. I'm saying, but if you're gonna clone the number, like Overwatch and Rivals are clone, like Rivals is a clone
Yeah.
of Overwatch, but it giving you these
Does it better.
characters and the monetization's part of it is secondary to getting people in the game and playing it. Where they made it
Yeah.
like legitimately difficult for people to play the game and the characters they wanted. Marvel Rivals, they just gave everybody every character that you could want to play. You're not getting locked out of character. And I get it, they're different types of games,
Mhm.
but that's the problem is when you're trying to do all these things, but you don't have the fan
Yeah.
base or backing or the gameplay itself. Because for me, it didn't seem like it was great. But
right. And the other thing too is just I think when you're aiming at a younger audience, right? Not that older audiences can't play it. Again, look at Smash Brothers, right? But when you're promoting characters like Scooby Doo, Batman, Adventure
Yeah.
Time, stuff like that,
Mhm.
you got to make sure the kids are having fun first because that's how you get them to buy the game or
skins.
buy the
And the
skins and
skins.
stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And plus, I think they made some weird moves with like LeBron being in it, and
LeBron was on that, yeah.
it's just like okay, I guess, but out of all the characters you have in your intellectual property,
Well,
library,
that's when they were
On
trying
Space
to
Jam
promote
or whatever.
Space
It was
Jam
the old
2,
Space
which,
Jam thing. Yeah.
But again,
which
like
was
you
not
let people play the
good.
characters and then sell them different outfits
Right.
that they can dress up with,
Mhm.
because that's
Yeah.
how you're gonna get people to buy
I
stuff.
would also argue like the characters included in this. I mean, what has Warner Brothers done with these like Hanna-Barbera characters? They've kind of shot themselves in terms of popularity for what these characters
People
are.
were very
They've even
excited
canceled.
to play as Ultra Instinct Shaggy. They were
They,
excited about that.
they've canceled the Coyote thing. Remember last year?
Mhm.
They can a lot of these characters that could have been in the forefront, like to bring in interest. They've canceled these things. This is on them too. I mean, it's always on them, but it's always on Warner Brothers. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's where I think they faltered. So
Well, I mean, listen, I've been saying that Warner Brothers has some of the best IP and the worst management, in my opinion. Like
yeah,
I love all their
they have
characters
so many
and
great.
everything
They have
they
so
have,
many great
but
IPs. Yeah.
they've really fucked everything up lately. So whatever.
Anyways, so sorry. All right. What else? Okay, so as I mentioned before, Bioware. Bioware has been kind of almost shut down. Less than 100 employees working for it right now. They're saying their main focus is Mass Effect, all of it. But how much can you possibly get done with that amount of staff for a game, Mass Effect size? You know what I mean? Like AAA, huge game, supposed to be a huge game.
Well, okay, so hold on. I think you're misrepresenting the story here.
Okay.
So Jason Schreier came out shortly after. This is the week that EA had their investor call, and the investor call was basically saying things like Soccer Club failed to hit their target goals, but also Dragon Age Veilguard didn't hit their goals, right? Which is alarming because I think it hit 1.5 million players, which again is different from copy sold or sell through, shipped, etc. And if you're aiming for 3 million, like you're like that's not really that much. That's a million
No.
on each platform, being PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Sure.
You're like Dragon Age can't hit that when Inquisition hit like 12 or 15 million copies sold. Like that's a steep drop off. But anyway, Jason Schreier came out with a statement on Friday, or a news blog, whatever article, journal thing he did, that stated that after Veilguard shipped, right, because there was no DLC planned for it, which is fine. A lot of Bioware talent was moved around different EA studios, saying, "Hey, it's going to be a temporary thing because right now Mass Effect is in pre-production, and whatever their role is, they would have no use for them. They'd literally be sitting on their hands doing nothing because that's how pre-production works, right?" So to better utilize them, they were shipped over to different studios across EA's wheelhouse, and saying, "Oh, this is going to be a temporary thing." And all of a sudden, a couple months later now, they're being told it's a permanent thing, right? So imagine you went to go work for BioWare to work on either prestige titles like Dragon Age or Mass Effect, and you ship a game, and all of a sudden you're on Battlefield team or Motive team or wherever, and then being told, "Yeah, so you're permanent now, and if you want to go back to BioWare, you'll have to reapply for your position again," which that's crazy. That is borderline insanity to me.
Like I don't understand how that works. That you'd have to reapply for the position you had if they've already worked there. They like you. But yeah, that is crazy. I don't.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where like the company just like needs to move things around and they frame it a certain way, and then it's like, oh yeah, we'll get people to do it, and then it's like that's how it feels to me. It's like, oh, we're gonna tell them this one thing, and then they're gonna be like, okay, as long as I can go back to what I'm doing. And really, all along, they had no plans on that
Yeah.
at all.
No. They
So it
tooled
feels
up
like
their
anyway.
other teams by pulling away their Bioware team.
Right.
Oh.
So that's pretty much unheard of, at least that has been publicly stated. Maybe it's happened before, but nobody's reported on it. But the other thing, which you were talking about, Jim, is that this is a bad sign for Mass Effect, right? Because if they're still stuck in pre-production, and mind you, this title was teased, I think, at Game Awards 21 or 22.
2 years? 22? Maybe it's
No,
22.
it's been more than 2 years. It's been more than 2 years.
Yeah.
Like
I
we're
think
talking
two awards
COVID.
ago.
We're talking about COVID time.
Oh, maybe you're right.
We're 100% talking about COVID times here. But they're still stuck in pre-production to the point where they don't even want these people back and ready to jump right in to full-time production.
Yeah.
This is a long time away. We're talking, I don't think we see this before 2030.
Unless, do we know it's pre-production or just that they said they don't need that many people now? Maybe they're almost done.
That's the only reason they would say something like this. They just
it was
got done with
It was 5 years ago.
Thank you.
But they've been a two game studio.
They were when they had
not.
BioWare Austin and BioWare Montreal. But they don't anymore. And 100 people, that's on pre-production. And again, if you were going to move from pre-production into production within a year, you wouldn't even bother making these people reapply for their jobs. You'd just be like, this is temporary. So we're like at least 1 to 2 years more of pre-production, if not more. And then 2 to 3 years for development at best, if there's no hiccups or delays. Again, which who knows?
2030 is
all signs point to this game is not happening.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing. I feel like EA at some point is going to be like, it's not even worth it anymore. Like, we would just rather have those people being Battlefield asset farmers and creators.
Well, especially if this new Battlefield is going to be a good game. They're definitely going to start moving people around.
Yeah. It's a ways away. Unbelievable. Anyways,
I have no faith that it's like closer than you think. Like, I don't think so, Mike. Unfortunately,
I wouldn't be surprised. I think
I would.
I don't think it'll be good though.
Completely surprised.
I think it might be bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless it's a much smaller game, and you're like, all right, we got 100 people, and make a small game, make it like a quarter of the size of 3, then sure.
What's the point of that though? Like, how can you do that?
Well, that's
you
what I'm
can't
saying.
with
Like, if it's an outer if it's what is that?
Are we?
The
Outer
game,
Worlds.
the outer,
Yeah.
Here's
outer
here's
worlds.
here's
Yeah, if
the
it's
thing.
that size, then I guess you could do it. But
Or
that's
is that
not
a
what we
Wilds?
want
Maybe.
from Mass
I can't remember what game it was
Have
called.
they really been in pre-production for 5 years already, and they're still in pre-production now?
Dude, yes. That's what Tony just said about
How?
the article. Like, they
But
moved
they're.
people away.
I know they did, but they said at this point in its production. So could it be after most of the production? Is what I
No,
mean.
no, no. That's
Why?
not how game development
Because
works.
they said that they were going to move in production of this once the Veilguard shipped. That's we just
I'd say they were going to move into production, did they?
it was in pre-production. I thought that's what we just read. I mean, Tony was just talking about that with like
Been
it was in
pre-production
pre-production.
for
The
5
expectation
years.
was to start production on it once Veilguard was out,
So hold on.
right?
There is a slight
The-
thing. They announced it 4 years ago, or
Okay.
5 years ago, whatever it was. That doesn't. The whole time we were all under the assumption, I think, that it was in pre-production because they were a 2-game studio. But the reality is they're not anymore. So now, really, all that was that Emmy logo, whatever, was just a hiring advertisement at the Game Awards. Basically, hey, come work at Bioware if you want to work on the next Mass Effect, guys.
You mean
and they
it was
fucking
recruitment
jack
for the
shit.
entire EA company because they moved them all around anyways?
Yeah, I mean, yep. The end result. That's what came to be. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
But again, this just goes to show how fucking insane it is.
Damn.
And remember,
Shot
I said, well, after
over.
Andromeda bombed on this
Over,
podcast,
man.
I even tried looking for the episode because I was like, we're not seeing Mass Effect for another fucking 10 years. And now it's looking like we're not even seeing it for, what, 13 now? Which is,
Maybe 20.
If at
Fucking
all.
Who knows?
I mean, if at all.
if at all, right? Like, I don't
Like
know.
it's got
man.
to enter production, and you figure 3 to 5 years, and that's if it enters this year. So yeah, 2030s might be early. It might be 2031, 2032. Oh, anyways, we'll find out. All right, Forza Horizon 5 is coming to PS5 spring of this year. That's right, Microsoft's big racing game, open world, fun game, great game. Can't wait to see it on PS5. Coming, like I said, to PS5. So pretty good. It's after it's been
not
out. So
exclusive?
Mike,
It's not exclusive?
no,
What?
Forza's not
That's
exclusive
saying-
anymore. So we'll see. We'll see what keeps coming. Day and date stuff. Obviously, this has been out for a while already. So, but we'll see if the newer releases. We have a bunch possibly coming, and I really do think Fable, if it ever comes out, will be on both at the same time. So, all right. What else we got here? We got some Nintendo numbers here. So we got some Nintendo hardware and software sales updates. Switch is at an amazing 150.86 million units sold. Whew. Switch.
Remember
Killing
this
it.
very podcast, Jim, when you didn't think it would make 100 million?
No. Yeah. Nope.
You don't remember?
I thought
Or
it was.
you do
I thought it was
remember?
crazy. No, I do remember.
Okay.
I
Just
just
making sure-
it's still in my head. It's like, yeah, I get why I was saying that.
You don't know.
I get
I'm just
it.
Teasing.
Yeah. Mario Kart 8, 67.3 million. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, Jesus, guys. Wow. I mean, it's the new Grand Theft Auto. Is it not?
It's Nintendo Cool.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. It's insane. So we got Animal Crossing. I was shocked at Animal Crossing at 47.44 million. Animal Crossing. That hit at the right time.
That was like
the COVID game.
Like,
Yeah, that was the COVID game.
that was like the
people
perfect
need-
COVID game.
People needed that. That was like hit that well. Smash Brothers at 35.88. Amazing franchise there for that one. You know, Breath of the Wild, remember it was a 1-to-1 sales ratio, over 1-to-1 when it launched.
Mhm.
32.62 million, so it did slow down. And then Super Mario Odyssey at 29.4. Let's see. The Pokemon's at 26 each. Tears of the Kingdom was at 21. Super Mario Party at 21. Super Mario U Deluxe at 18 million. I mean, Super Mario Brothers U at 18 million. Crazy. Some of these numbers are insane. That Mario Kart number. Crazy.
All those numbers are insane.
Yeah, that Mario Kart
Especially
number.
considering the console that they released before this console.
I was like,
Yeah.
And where Nintendo was
14
going.
million, yeah.
You could argue like on the brink of disaster, and look at this.
Yeah.
On the brink. And that's why it's like,
Yeah.
and that's why people are upset about Switch 2 being like, oh, this is kind of the same system, but an upgrade. I'm like,
Fuck
yeah,
those people.
because they have.
I'm sorry. If
they-
anybody thinks that, fuck those people.
No, because I'm like, but why would you do something? You have a successful system, make it
But
stronger and keep
Xbox
going.
and PlayStation have been doing for
Yeah.
the past 5 or 4
I know,
iterations.
but
It's
this is what we're looking for from Nintendo. You want stupid shit.
No, I want a little
I
more
want
powerful
innovation.
handheld.
That's
Yeah.
I want innovation, but not at the cause of hey, it's just a gimmick, right?
Right.
And we're 50 years into video game. Like, there's only so much space left to innovate in terms of control. Like, I mean,
Like they're putting the trackball stuff, the mouse feature into these controllers, so they're doing
right.
something, but
Oh, we
they're
don't even
hiding
need
it and they're
real.
doing it really well. It's a great idea. Like Switch 2, I mean, talking about most anticipated stuff, which we're going to get into shortly here, which we can, this was the last bit of news I had, so we could get into it now. I mean, Switch 2, for me, it's like leading the list of like, I cannot wait for the system to come out. Um, I love the Steam Deck. I absolutely love the Steam Deck. Like, I think it's a fantastic handheld. Um, the Switch was always great before that, but the Steam Deck just like takes over for me the handheld gaming. Like like my stepdaughter uses the Switch a lot more than me. Um, not that there's bad games on it at all. I've played some great games on it, but I'm just like it's lagging behind. And it's impressive what they've been able to do on the Steam Deck with games. I cannot wait to see something that's more powerful than the Steam Deck is, the regular Steam Deck now, like with Nintendo like
Mhm.
the innovativeness with like the way they do their games because they squeeze so much out of their actual franchises in terms of the performance of it
Yeah.
and the visuals with this headroom for power. It's going to look great. I mean, it's going to be
Yeah,
awesome.
because I mean, the thing is, and it comes down to it. We've talked about it a couple times every year, basically. But I really feel like this generation, especially when we're talking like PlayStation and Xbox, I can't tell the difference anymore, really. Like, other than frame rate, and feel like most
It's
games,
frame rate.
have a good frame
Yeah.
rate now.
Yeah.
As opposed to the PS3 era where things are struggling at 30. But Spider-Man 2, like, if you showed me Spider-Man 3 right now, I would not be able to tell you the difference. Like, if you just showed me, like, hey, this is a dev shot of Spider-Man 3 running on PlayStation 6 in a collage of Spider-Man 2 pictures, for my life, I would not be able to tell you. I'd be like, I think it's this one, maybe? Like, I might as well
Yeah.
just, like, point randomly, like, there you go.
Well, that one's got the
That's it.
puddles.
Yeah,
Maybe
this
that's
one's
it.
got the puddles, guys. Right? Where it just, there's diminishing returns, and
Yeah.
I feel like both Sony and Microsoft fucking know that. Like, and again, we know that they know that by
Well,
the Insomniac hack, where they even said, "Are the consumers going to be able to tell the fucking difference for this much
yeah.
more money?" Like the budget went up twice, like 2 times the amount. We're not selling twice the amount of copies anymore, so the
Yeah.
math here does not work out. The calculus
No,
is
absolutely.
wrong.
Absolutely. So that's where we're at, and it's like that's where like I'm happy that I mean, we'll see what the budget is with tariffs possibly happening, but we'll see what the system launches at for Switch 2. But overall, like I'm guessing $400 is where this is going to be. I don't think it'll go to five because I think that's crazy, but I mean it could with tariffs, but um, $400 for a way more powerful Switch than what the Switch is awesome. Like I understand it's not PS5, it's not Xbox, but like Tony said, that'll fix the frame rate issues we run into, and that's really a lot of the big issues you run into because most of the time, like on my Steam Deck, I'm playing 720p less than that probably just to get better frame rate out of the games, and that's fine for me. You know what I'm saying? You're on a handheld. You cannot see 4K on a handheld. I'm sorry, you just can't do it. I don't care. Your eyes aren't that good.
Now the turntables have turned.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is crazy. What a crazy conversation Jim's having right now, is it not? 1080p was a huge jump. Like you can see 1080p. You can.
Yeah.
Everything after that though has been small. And frame rate
Yeah,
is
it's not. I
king.
mean, that's the
HDR,
thing. That's what
I
it's
will
all
still
now.
argue
These
HDR is awesome. HDR is awesome. Yes.
right. It's all
Or,
these key
yeah.
terms and stuff. Ray tracing and
Yeah.
HDR and all that.
Yeah. I mean, the dynamic, like Dolby Vision, stuff like that, the brightness, the color pop, those are awesome for shows and games. I love that stuff, but frame rate is king. Absolutely. Like, I can't argue this
Yeah.
anymore. I can't.
It's buttery smooth.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care about frames
No.
that much.
You don't care about
You
graphics
just
that
don't
much.
realize it.
You have like an
Well,
Xbox
I
Series
mean,
S.
no, I don't.
Well, you did for like the longest time. You had an Xbox
I
One
never
S,
had
right?
that.
You had a
Yeah,
One
I
S.
had, yeah, for a little bit.
I thought you had it for the whole generation. You went and then you upgraded to this.
Well, if I had any, I barely played the Xbox then. Really, it was just for a few things with friends back then.
Okay. I just
I
would
think
never have
most
had the
people
Xbox
don't
One.
realize it. the frame rate, how impactful it is.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, I just don't care about it
let's-
most of the time, honestly. As long as it's
well,
30 or more, it's fine.
yeah, I 60 is perfect, but let's talk about anticipated games though. Let's talk about some games, guys. Give me a most anticipated game, Tony. Kick us off here.
Got to be the one that's going to make me win this bet.
Go.
Long
No,
running
no.
bet. Long running bet. It's got to end. It's ending this year, Jim. Metroid Prime 4. I'm winning.
Can I
Mm.
can I just chime in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's probably my most anticipated game this year. Too.
You know, it's funny because I even read while we were traveling, I think, and I didn't get to put it in the Discord, that somebody from Ubisoft even said Beyond Good and Evil 2 is not in a good shape right now. And I'm like,
I imagine.
and I was like, man, I
Which
don't even
is
rub
it
this
in
in.
any shape right now?
No,
I mean, the
right,
company's
exactly.
not
Who
in good
knows?
shape.
Who
So
knows?
Oh, god damn. Now Metro Prime 4 or whatever. Yeah. 4? Yeah. Yeah. Whatever they're calling it exactly. So that's gonna be I'm excited for that game. And the funny part for me is that's gonna be like a launching point in the franchise in that series for me. But I'm
Mhm.
also anticipating that game. When I made my list and I wrote that down, I'm like Tony's gonna laugh his ass off when I put that on my list.
No, I mean it's a good game. I know it was just more of a restarted development. It's not coming out for a
It
long time, which it
restarted.
didn't, right? It didn't,
Yeah,
which is unfortunate. But
yeah.
um, I'm super excited. I think they did like the bare minimum last year just to tease us a little bit because I was like, this is really kind of nothing. It's like, ooh, pretty alien environment world. Okay. But like, show me what's new because I know there's obviously new stuff. This is Nintendo. This is retro. We're talking about here. I know
Yeah.
they're putting in some crazy stuff. But it's happening this year. They just had Nintendo had their investor relations. There's only 4 games planned for Switch One right now, and it's
That's one of them.
it was Donkey Kong
Yeah.
this quarter, Metroid Prime, TBA, Pokemon Zeta A, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. So
Mhm.
it's happening this year. I think it's going to be a cross-platform launch title for Switch 2 with enhancements,
Yeah.
probably
Absolutely.
frames, right, and resolution stuff like that. So. I can't wait. It's been a long time. Metroid Prime 3 on the Wii was what 2009, so 16 years. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to be immersed.
To just give everybody some background here, we had because the bet's way old at this point. Tony gets to pick a bad movie for me to watch, and I will watch it, and I'll talk about it in the show. We haven't done a bet in a long time, so Tony gets to pick a bad
well, it's
movie.
been when did that get
Yeah,
announced? That
yeah.
was
So
Switch reveal
Yeah, 28. Yeah, something like
almost.
that.
yeah, so I don't even know what this is going to be. We don't even know. There could be a whole new line of bad movies. But all right, Core, give me most anticipated here. Give me another one.
Oh, my most on Twitch. I mean, come on, it's obvious. Borderlands 4.
Borderlands.
The
What else do you have
roots
to say? I mean,
need the
it's coming
guns.
back, and like
Yep.
the only thing I can hope for is that they've learned their lesson with Borderlands 3, and they learn from those mistakes, and that they improve on all aspects, and we get some innovation. It looks like, there's going to be some interesting movement aspects that are introduced in this one, so very excited to see where they go with this.
And that's supposed to come out this year?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll be right.
I'm saying it's coming out. I think I said June in my bold predictions,
I
but
want to bet that's like that seems like always an August game for Borderlands. Isn't it always like August?
September's the last
Yeah.
couple, so
So
Hmm.
I think it's closer than we all think. Is my
I'm hoping it's good because
I
Borderlands
just
2
feel
is
if
the
it
last
was
one I played.
June, I feel it would open pre-orders by now.
Yeah, I think
I
it's.
feel
I
if
think
we
it's,
don't have an
Mm.
announcement by next month of the release date, because like 3 months is really short for the marketing. I feel most publishers want at least 4, like one whole season
Yeah.
basically. But
No,
we'll
I
see.
don't disagree. Like I was hoping to get more information sooner, but
yeah.
we'll
So I'm
see.
gonna have a lot
I
of
think it's
overlap here
again. I
because
think it's a lot closer than we think. So
I'm having a lot of overlap here. Mike, what's an anticipated game for you?
Well, one of my most actually came out today, and that's
Oh yeah,
Kingdom
I did
Come
see that came out. It's
Deliverance
getting good
2.
reviews. Very good
Yeah,
reviews.
like
What is it?
I said,
fantastic reviews.
well, my prediction was that it would be in the Game of the Year conversation, and it's looking pretty good right now.
What was it called again?
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Thank you. I think
Yeah.
I cut you out when I was talking. I couldn't hear it. So go
hmm
on.
So I actually played the first game for like $4. I bought it on some deal earlier this year in the summer, and
Last
it,
year.
it was real fun. Well, yes, that's right. And yeah, no, it was fun. It's definitely a different, it's a change of pace. It's a medieval game without any fantasy stuff. So you are a poor little blacksmith boy, and you need to learn how to do everything,
Yeah.
including read and actually hold a sword and all that stuff. And this is the continuation of the story, and it's good timing for me. So I'm looking forward to it. It's one of those beefy sort of RPGs where you have to, you know, it felt a little like Witcher, honestly, just without the magic. Witcher meets Skyrim, just no
Hmm.
magic, and it has a little sense of humor to it too. So I'm looking forward to it, but I might wait for another game I'm looking forward to before I play it because Kingdom Come is going to be like, yeah, like 80, 100 hours, and another game coming out relatively soon I want to play first, so I'll let
Would that
someone
be
else go
the?
though.
Would that be Like a Dragon?
Yes, it would.
Yeah,
I'm
because
more
I'm
in
gonna
the
put that
mood.
one as my as anticipated for
Yeah,
me. Yeah,
I'm more in the
a
mood for
pirate game.
that right
Pirate
now,
game.
so I might, yeah,
Yeah,
with Majima
yeah. My
as
my
the
fear about
lead.
this game is these are always longer games too, right? Like I kind of want to get
Well,
something
this
that's
isn't
just
going to be long.
it won't be that long. I want a short game next.
This is the short one
Yeah.
because this was originally going to be in the vein of Gaiden. Now they say it's a little longer than that one. The man who erased his name, which was about, I don't know, you could do it in like 10,
Okay.
15 hours at most.
I'm good with the
This is
20. Is what I'm looking at. I'm good.
this
I want
might
to get to
be
20.
yeah, this might be like that. It depends on how much you want to do all the side stuff as well. But it's been about a year since
Looks
I played
great.
Infinite
Yeah.
Wealth. This looks fun. Looks like better naval combat than Skull and Bones.
Yeah, it
Um,
does. Yep.
And yeah, so I always have room for a fun Yakuza game, and this one's coming up also later this month, so looking forward
Yeah.
to that too.
That's a little quick for me. I'll probably get it next month, but I don't know. We'll see. Tony, what's another one for you?
Okay, close one because we're talking about close soonish games. I'm gonna throw it out there. Monster Hunter Wilds. I
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really enjoyed that beta that they did or the whatever test last year, and I think this is going to finally be it for me in terms of like really getting because like unfortunately I got Worlds late and
Mm.
people were kind of done with it. Rise, I thought that was impacted a little bit too much by the hardware of the Switch.
Mm.
But Rise being on PC day one, cross-platform, and a lot of people I know
Wild.
are playing Wilds. Yeah,
What?
right.
You had
You
said
said
Rise.
Rise.
You
You
said
said
Oh,
Rise.
I'm sorry,
Rise.
sorry.
Yeah.
Rise was the
Yep.
Switch game. With
Yeah.
Wilds, and they kind of sound similar
Hmm.
too.
Yeah, they do.
Wilds Day One is just. I think this is going to be a
Yeah.
huge breakout hit for Capcom and Monster Hunter. Like, I
Hmm.
think it's going to
This is
do
the one I think a lot of people are just gonna dive like head first and just like, yeah, we're going for it. We're just
yep,
doing this. All right, get your buddies. We're gonna
100%.
go monster hunting.
Absolutely, and I think it's going to take over the Twitch streaming community, which isn't everything, but I feel like that's a good barometer of how successful a game is going to be. I.e., like
Hmm.
Helldivers 2 last year, Baldur's Gate
Yeah.
3,
Cool.
stuff like that.
Cool. All right.
I might give that one a try because my friend Ryan's been trying to get me into this series for maybe a decade at this point, and I haven't really done it. So I think it'll be on Game Pass,
Yeah,
so I
I
might give
think
it a
they're
It's
chance.
not
making
being on Game
this
Pass.
more
No, that one isn't.
Not day one.
No,
Are you
not
wild.
day
kidding me?
one.
No,
They're not
what?
going to
No,
give up
not day one.
But they,
$70 times 1 million units bare minimum or something like that. That's fucking pissing money away.
Okay,
and when
It
has
won't be day
Capcom
one.
put stuff out
one of
like
them
that?
was.
Like,
Yeah,
well,
Worlds was like
much later.
years after the fact, but not day
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carl. What'd you say?
But yeah, no, I mean, they're making this one. It seems at least to be more accessible, also to kind of doing the whole Elden Ring thing. I think with
Yeah.
hey, we have this game, this formula that people enjoy. Hardcore gamers are gonna love it, but we're gonna make it a little bit more accessible to people that don't necessarily know what they're getting into.
Okay.
And the
All right,
character
Corey.
designs are great.
Yeah.
So.
Corey, give me one of yours.
Oh, I think I had it last year, but Suikoden remakes.
I hope
I'm
it's good. I mean, it's gonna be good. It's
so.
too good.
I mean, it's the same
So
game, right? I mean,
yeah,
we keep
can't be
wanting
bad.
these
Yeah.
remakes or redos or whatever it is, and yeah. So I'm hoping to get them played this year, and yeah, love those two games. At least one and two are
Yeah.
fantastic. So
Yeah. All right, Mike.
Um, well, now we're going a little lower in my hype, but I do think that if it comes out this year, I'm interested to see how Metal Gear Solid Delta or whatever it's called comes out. It's supposed to be this year. but I am curious about it. So that's definitely up there for me.
Yeah, I never played that one, and that's like the most popular one. So it's on
Oh,
my
that's
list
sad.
of have to do.
It's one of the only ones I played.
Yeah.
I'm just so scared that it could ruin it. Where the thing is, that game was so good, where I kind of feel like you don't really like, other than like just bring it up to modern quality of life stuff in terms of camera controls, etc. You don't really need to do too much, but they haven't really shown off what they're doing with it, so
Yeah.
it's one of those, like, could be good, could be bad, but I'm hoping it airs on the side of like Resident Evil 2 remake, or Resident Evil 4 remake, or Silent Hill 2 remake, where it's like, hey, we're taking a great game and making it just as good in modern day times. That's my hope there.
Cool. Ghost of Yotai.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Tsushima was so good. Like so good. I cannot wait for the sequel. Like bigger game, more stuff to do. Like I just as I talked about, I want a shorter game this time around, but I'm like, when this hits, I can't wait for it. Like visually, I just after Shogun last year with the series that on TV, like I'm ready to jump into that samurai world again, and just I can't wait. I'm excited. It looks awesome. So very excited for this game, and also to see how it still intertwines with the legend of the Ghost of Tsushima as well, because it's going to intertwine a little bit. Has to. I'm interested to see how they do that. So we don't have an actual release date for this year yet for
Yeah.
this.
The thing is with this,
About this one.
I think the expectation that they're setting, that it's farther in the future than Jin, is helping me set the tone, because I will say I've been kind of disappointed in the output of the Sony franchises with the sequels.
Yeah.
Just because, like, Ragnar, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm crap talking these games, because they've all reviewed well, they've all sold well, but like, when, like, oh, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon 2, Last of Us 2, I'm like, like, the story is just so much of it where I'm just like, but for Horizon, I thought that was perfect. Like, hey, there's a mystery, and we know the mystery now, and it's just kind of like fill in the blanks. Do I really want to follow her on this journey? Like, I don't know. It just didn't feel as compelling to me. And
Yeah.
even like Spider-Man 2, and I love Spider-Man 1. I don't get me wrong, Spider-Man 2 is great, but I just felt kind of like, shrug. It's like I struggle
Is it
to remember
retread?
much of that
Retread.
right now,
Yeah.
right?
It could have been an expansion. It was. I mean, listen, the game is huge, but I'm saying it could have, in a memory, could have been an expansion. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So with Yote, I'm hoping that because they're like, hey, we're setting the expectation, you don't play as Jenny anymore, completely different character, continues like the trend of the legend of the ghost. I'm like, okay, that's cool, and I hope we get new mechanics, and that's really what I'm looking for here, is just new gameplay stuff to not just be like, hey, you remember this skill, right? It's like, nah, I don't want to do that.
yeah, I got you. All right, Tony, give me another one.
Um, Phantom Blade Zero. So this is what I was
Okay.
referencing earlier when we talked about the sudden drop of Ninja Gaiden 2 remaster and the upcoming Ninja Gaiden 4, I guess they're on.
Four. Yeah.
But Phantom Blade Zero looks like a high-packed, high-octane action game that's not in the vein of Soulsborne. And don't get me wrong, I love Soulsborne games. I love them for what they are. But it's one of those things where I feel like the entire industry pivoted to support Soulsborne games, where we're even getting like Fallen Order had a lot of Soulsborne DNA in
Yeah.
that. When I'm like,
Yep.
doesn't make sense, but okay. Where I'm just like, well, what happened to the pure action games? It's like you have Devil May Cry and you have Bayonetta, and that feels like it's it these days. And Phantom Blade Zero, I did not believe when I first saw that like trailer. I think a year or so ago, I was like, no way, that looks way too good. And they're like, no, this is real footage, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll have to believe you because I've been burned before. But I just think it looks cool. I have no idea the story or anything. Just
Yeah.
Mhm.
I look at that, I'm like,
Yeah,
holy
it looks
shit, this is
amazing,
action
I have to
porn.
Does
say.
look awesome.
Yeah.
So
So fingers crossed that this is going to be an amazing title in the vein of like a studio's first big breakout hit.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Corey.
Another remake for me, but mentioned earlier, Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
never played it,
yes.
so very excited to see this game, and it's a departure from what the Xenoblades have done before, but big fan of those games, and so I'm very excited that they're bringing this over and redoing it for a new audience, because yeah, you couldn't play it really if you didn't
No.
have the
Yeah.
system.
Cool. Mike. Any more?
Yeah, I mean this falls into I'll probably play it if it's on Game Pass. um,
Avowed.
and that would be well. No, I am considering that
Yeah,
because
me
it
too.
is.
I'm not
But
going to anticipate with that though. But go on.
very similarly, I'll say Outer Worlds too.
There you
Um,
go. I don't think
Oh,
it'll
I
be
thought
on
you
Game
weren't
Pass
looking
though.
forward to that.
I mean, the first game was
Why wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
I'm
Then
just.
don't they? Isn't it
Yeah,
first party?
I feel like this is gonna be sold not on Game Pass though, because I feel like the first game was, and on purpose they're gonna be like, no, not Game Pass. It's because it's not first party
so
game. I think it's kind
Is
of a
it
hook.
not?
Isn't it?
I didn't think it
I thought it
was.
was.
Obsidian.
They own the company.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Obsidian.
Is
it's
it?
Obsidian. Yeah,
I,
Obsidian
oh,
did
they
the
God,
do.
I
Own,
wish
first
they
they
own.
game.
would.
That's right. They do. They do own Obsidian. I've read this. I thought Obsidian did this. I thought it was like a separate company that did this. The
Yeah,
Outer
which
Worlds.
is it
So
is
this will be
crazy
Game
that they're
Pass. This will be Game Pass.
releasing two games in the same year if this does
Yeah,
come out this year.
that is
I'm a little
crazy.
skeptical too,
There's
but
something. There's some.
Well,
I'm sorry.
didn't
Like,
what's that miniature like Honey I Shrunk the Game? Like, isn't that from them too? Didn't they release
yeah,
that
I
and
think
Outer
so.
Worlds
I
too?
don't know. It's kind of weird, but so I'm not expecting a long game. The first one wasn't long. I'm not expecting a terrible, incredibly in-depth game either. There's some interesting like role-playing stuff in the first game, and it was
mm,
kind of funny. It had
yeah,
the humor. The actual combat was, eh, and the number and quality of companions were, but I still like a good sci-fi romp with that whole, Fallouty open world style. So I'm gonna give this one a chance again too. So
okay.
we'll see.
All right. Tony, anything more?
I mean, it's
Okay.
not official, but I will it into existence. Super Mario
I
Odyssey 2 on Switch
thought
2.
you were about to
launch
say
title.
Blood Rain remake. I thought you said
I mean, yes, I'll throw that out there too. Will it exist? Bloodborne 2. I will say that.
Yeah.
But I just feel Super Mario Odyssey 2 is almost a surefire bet for a Switch 2 launch title. I feel like there was too many concepts and even design things that were unveiled after Odyssey released. I was like, that would be perfect for DLC, and then we never got it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's weird. And it's like, oh, well, they're probably keeping it for the sequel, where
Yeah.
It's been an entire
It's a
generation
launch
waiting.
title.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a launch title.
So yeah, I think it's a launch title because there's no way they're gonna have a Zelda 3D title ready. So I believe it's gonna be an Odyssey 2.
Okay. Corey, anything more?
Not really. No, I think
I'm
we
good.
hit all
I mean,
the
there's
big
some
ones.
games
Like
I'm
Monster
hoping are good.
Hunter is one
Yeah.
I was excited
Yeah.
for too, but yeah,
If
totally
GTA 6 comes out this year, you guys gonna get it?
No.
nope, probably not.
No.
I mean,
Mm.
I didn't get.
I think
Maybe
I think
I
I
didn't get into
probably
the other
will.
one. I played the other one, but I didn't get into
I
it.
won't.
So
Nope.
Interesting.
I know
Nope.
you won't, Jim. It doesn't exist, but I mean,
Nope.
it's a
So
big
like
game.
I
It looks
wouldn't
interesting.
I wouldn't say I'm anticipating it, and I also don't think it's coming out this year. But if it did, I would probably still play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Do you have
mean,
Unless it's
anything else, Mike? Or
$100. If it's $100, screw that.
no? Yeah.
No,
Tony,
I mean
anything
I
more?
don't know.
Or Mike? Mike, do you have any
I
more
have
on the anticipated?
pending reviews. I'm
Okay.
curious about Assassin's Creed Shadow.
Yeah. We'll see when that comes out. They've been working on that like crazy, so I hope it's good. But we'll see. It looks like it's gonna be smaller. I guess not as big.
that's fine.
Not as big
Like,
of a game.
man,
Yeah.
when
I
I
think it
played
has hubs.
Odyssey,
Yeah.
and well, I thought the first area, just that tutorial or whatever,
Yeah.
I thought the
Yeah.
island was
See all
big
those
enough. Yeah, and they're like,
those other islands, and
And I
you're
was
like, oh
like-
no.
I was like, that's too
It's
much.
too
game.
much.
That's too
Yeah,
much.
too much.
game.
Yeah.
I played that game. I generally liked it, but I think there's whole islands I didn't visit in that
Oh
game.
yeah,
Yeah.
I believe
Fine
it,
with that.
100%.
Fine
I was
with it.
overbearing. It was just too much. Tony, anything more?
No, that's it, really.
All right. So that's our most anticipated then for this coming year. There's going to be some more. I'm sure we forgot about it. I apologize if we missed your game.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because it's kind of like the first half of the year, right? Because
Yeah.
all the publishers, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, they've only showed stuff that's releasing the first half of the year. I will say, apparently we are getting a state of play next week, so we'll
we
get
something?
some more stuff from Sony. And
Yeah.
then apparently we're also getting a Switch 1 Direct this month from Nintendo. That'll show off
Finish
a
out.
couple more
Oh.
games for the first half leading up to Switch 2 launch. So who knows? By next week, 2 weeks from now, this could all be fucked around with and stuff. So.
New list. So, all right,
and there
folks.
might be games that are coming that we didn't know about too. So.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode, folks. So stay tuned till next week. Maybe we'll get more news. Hope you enjoyed it. Once again, we're live on Twitch Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. YouTube has all the content the following day, so you can check out YouTube. Has all of our old stuff there. Subscribe, leave us a comment, give us a like. We'd love to hear from you guys. We'll see you guys next week with all this announcements. Hopefully, we'll see you guys soon. We're out.